The LA Galaxy, the most successful and recognized teams in the United States, to now one of the worst teams in Major League Soccer. From winning 5 MLS Cups, 4 Supporter Shields, 2 US Open Cups, and being the first MLS club to win the CONCACAF Champions Cup, to now fans boycotting matches and not even making the playoffs most years. Let's talk about the downfall of the LA Galaxy. The LA Galaxy were part of the inaugural MLS season in 1996. They wanted to capture Los Angeles' unique culture with a name that would be recognizable worldwide. After considering several options, they decided on Galaxy as a homage to Hollywood's star-studded history and its connection with science fiction movies such as Star Wars. In the inaugural season, the LA Galaxy made it to the first ever MLS Cup final, falling short to DC United, who would be an MLS team that would go on and win 4 MLS Cups themselves. After losing 2 MLS Cup finals in 1996 and 2001, the LA Galaxy finally won their first of many MLS Cups in 2002, defeating the New England Revolution, which would be the beginning of a curse for New England, losing 5 MLS Cup finals and yet to have still won an MLS Cup. But now let's fast forward to 2005, where the LA Galaxy would sign a player that some would say is the greatest player in MLS and LA Galaxy history, Landon Donovan from the San Jose Earthquakes. That year, Donovan exploded in MLS to help the club win its second MLS Cup. After missing the playoffs the following season in 2006, the LA Galaxy changed the landscape of MLS. In 2007, the club signed global icon David Beckham from Real Madrid, where he was going to make a reported $250 million in total potential earnings over a 5-year deal, including endorsements. But why did David Beckham want to come to a league that has only existed for 10 years? Because coming to MLS helped him build his own brand in soccer in the United States to become the Messi or Ronaldo of MLS. And maybe that could be a video I could do on the channel in the future talking about how David Beckham changed MLS. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments if you want to see that video. Beckham grew the brand of the LA Galaxy globally, but the success on the field still wasn't there for the team, missing the playoffs in 2007 and 2008 and losing the MLS Cup final to Real Salt Lake in 2009. Then came the missing piece to building the greatest dynasty in MLS history, Robbie Keane. Irish international Robbie Keane joined the LA Galaxy in 2011 from Tottenham. Donovan, Beckham, and Keane would go on to lead the LA Galaxy to 2 MLS Cup wins in 2011 and 2012. The following year, David Beckham would depart the LA Galaxy for PSG, but the club was still able to secure their 5th MLS Cup in 2014. But after that began the slippery slope for the LA Galaxy. Donovan would then announce his retirement after their 2014 MLS Cup triumph, but he actually came out of retirement in 2016, but he wasn't nearly as good as he was before, and it was a really short stint as he retired at the end of that season. Then came the departures of head coach Bruce Arena and Robbie Keane in 2016, trying to replicate their former star power form throughout the previous years, trying to bring in big name superstars like Steven Gerrard, Giovanni Dos Santos, Ashley Cole, and Nigel de Jong to fill in the holes missing from Donovan, Beckham, and Keane, where all of those signings would go down as some of the biggest flops in MLS history. In 2018, we saw the introduction of LAFC as the new noisy neighbors for the LA Galaxy for the beginning of a new rivalry in MLS, El Tráfico. From 2017 to 2022, the LA Galaxy would only make the playoffs twice in the span of that 6 years. And in those 2 playoff runs, the LA Galaxy would get knocked out by LAFC in the Western Conference Finals. The club would go through a rough 5 to 6 years, going through different coaches year after year with the likes of Anolfo, Schmidt, Kinnear, Cholotto, Kinnear again, and now Vanni. But how did the LA Galaxy get to this point of being one of the last place teams in the league in 2023? Well, the problem is simple. His name is Chris Klein. Klein was appointed as the LA Galaxy president in 2013. The success of winning the 2014 MLS Cup would cover over the many issues he was building within this club. He didn't build on the success of the LA Galaxy, but instead made things worse. The constant poor signings, lack of ambition, and the revolving door he created by not giving any coaches time at the club built a toxic atmosphere. In 2019, the LA Galaxy entered into agreements that were not disclosed. These included payments that were not accounted for in the calculations of Argentinian winger Christian Pavon's salary budget and roster category. This resulted in the improper classification of Pavon as a TAM player in 2019, when in reality he should have been held as a designated player. The club was then punished for violating league salary guidelines. Those sanctions saw Chris Klein suspended through this season's preliminary transfer window, and the club was fined $1 million, losing an additional $1 million in future general allocation money. Rather than cutting ties with Chris Klein, the Galaxy handed him a new multi-year contract behind the fans' backs, where the LA Times had to break this news news, not the club. This for many fans was a step too far, and while discontent has been growing for years, the sentiment has never been this strong. This season, we've seen the LA Galaxy supporters in open revolts against their own club, boycotting matches and fans chanting Klein out. In an email to LA Galaxy season ticket holders, Chris Klein stated, "If we fall short of our goals this year, I will step aside as the president of the club that I so dearly love. This was my commitment to Dan Beckerman and AEG when I agreed to my contract extension, and I stand behind that promise." And most recently, after the LA Galaxy's loss at home to the Colorado Rapids, Chicharito had this to say.
Yeah, we need so many things to change. Starting from, like, I believe that more people need to come here and face the things where the same people speaking always. That's a thing that it needs to change too, you know? We're always speaking here, the same guys. So I think that should change in the beginning, and then in the training ground, another stuff needs to change. Something needs to change, man. We need to be accountable, and we need to see that the reality is not in the way that we are doing. We cannot say that we're gonna turn around doing the same things. The fans were right, because I think this organization deserves better. That's everything that I want to say. We all deserve better, but we need to gain that betterness. The fans are right. We deserve better, like we all deserve.
My biggest issue is the LA Galaxy showed signs of progress in the second half of last season, going unbeaten in 10 of their final 11 regular season fixtures. The summer signing of Riqui Puig from FC Barcelona proved to be a turning point. The Spaniard forged a good understanding with Mexican international Javier Hernandez. After going through 3 managers in 3 years, Greg Vanney has at least given the Galaxy a platform to build upon. Nonetheless, the LA Galaxy's decline in recent seasons is undeniable. But with only 1 win this season, sitting as one of the last place teams in the Western Conference, fans boycotting matches, I feel it's time for Chris Klein to leave because he has created the downfall of the LA Galaxy. But boys and girls, my opinion only matters so much. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. And if you like this type of MLS video, make sure to check out my previous video where I talked about the top 10 sales in MLS history. After you smash the like button on this video, make sure to go check it out. And boys and girls, I hope you'll have a lovely day.